Broadcasting from Slough. Streaming around the world.
This is Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio. Oh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear. The podcast. AtomRadio.co.uk.
Hello, welcome to episode 120 of the best bits of breakfast on Atom Radio. I do hope, as always, you are very well. Firstly, I want to start with a precautionary note. Saturday, the 6th of February 2021 is the day that this podcast launches. Certainly, some parts of the United Kingdom will have snow by now. Take care. Those that don't, likely to have snow tomorrow. So take care. Also, note, last time we had snow, people were fined for arranging snowball fights as they were deemed illegal gatherings. Watch out for that as well. On the podcast this week, the best bits from the show, we have dating, pointless national days, exceptional honesty, DIY beauty disasters, ideal Valentine's gifts, and hobbies. That's just a little bit of what we get up to between 6 and 10 Monday to Friday. You're always welcome to check it out live on atomradio.co.uk, but right now, for your enjoyment, the best bits from this week. Atomradio.co.uk. Morning. Welcome to Monday. This is Mark Denholm on Atom Radio, live, loud and proud with the soundtrack for Slough. It's the music you want to hear. January is done, okay? We're now into a brand new month. We're into February. And just humour me for a moment, right? We were kind of told last year that things would be normal by Christmas, and they weren't. And a lot of people got excited about Christmas as something to focus on through varying degrees of restrictions and everything. And lockdown continues for at least the whole of this month. Lockdown is most likely to continue. And that made me think that we all need something to look forward to. So, yes, why not? Could be up in the loft, have the decorations down within 10 minutes, couldn't you? I'm joking.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
On air at atomradio.co.uk. Be honest with this, okay? Be honest with this. And before anybody says this is not an attempt at body shaming or anything like that, this is not body shaming. My question is this morning, would you date someone, go out with someone, whatever, that you didn't find physically attractive, okay? Now, I know that obviously an ugly personality can ruin the prettiest face, but my question is, like, you know, if someone had the nicest personality whatsoever, would you ask them out? Would you go out with them if you didn't physically fancy them?
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
Dan says, absolutely not, no. Whilst I do like to be connected with someone on a mental level, they would also have to look good physically as well for me to show any interest. And you see, Dan, that's where this whole thing came from, because we were talking on Friday about the strangest places that you'd found a relationship, be that an actual relationship or indeed a friendship or whatever. But my question then went on was, online dating is no longer considered a strange place to find a relationship, but online dating is basically just a beauty contest. Let's be honest about this, right? It's a beauty contest. Now, I'll admit, I've done it. I've done Tindering, I've done Bumble, and I'm shallow. There's no other way to put it. I look at the photo, and only if I think, wow, when I look at the photo, do I then ever look at the info. But to be fair, in the whole time I spent Tindering and Bumbling, I only ever swiped right. Is it right? I only ever swiped yes, put it that way, on one single person. And my friend also stole my phone and swiped right on one other person as well that I would never, ever, under any circumstances, have swiped right on.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Now, Craig emails and says, I did this and it didn't work. I met a lady, we got on amazingly well, but I didn't fancy her. There was no physical attraction at all. I didn't fancy her. and she asked me whether or not we should go for a drink, and I said, yeah, I thought we were going as friends. I said, yeah. And then, like, things started to progress, and after maybe 6-8 weeks, like, things were, progressing, pushed along by her rather than me, when all of a sudden I realised, look, I just don't fancy her, and I had to call it off. And I felt quite bad because we did get on really well, and I did lose a friend out of it, but I just didn't fancy her, and I couldn't do it anymore. So there you go. There's what happens in one case when you try it. I don't know. I just don't know. It's a weird situation, isn't it? This whole thing is a weird situation, especially if you're a modern online dater where it does just come down to a beauty contest. Maybe I should go away and set up a dating site like perhaps The Voice, where we have like the blind auditions where you get to read about the person first before you get to see their picture. You have to read about their interests and all that, and if they write an interesting enough bio, then you swipe on them and then you get the picture revealed. How about that? I should do that. Now that I've said that, I bet someone's thinking about it, but I should do that, really, shouldn't I?
Yeah! Mark Denholm.
It's Tuesday, 2nd of February, National Heavenly Hash Day today. What in God's name is Heavenly Hash? This is another one I'm going to have to research, isn't it? National Heavenly Hash Day. What on earth is that? I just don't know. It's a variety of desserts with a common ingredient. That still made it no clearer, I'm afraid.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
It's Tuesday morning. Morning, Mick. Mick says, morning, Marky. I think you're right. These national days have just gone too far. Therefore, I propose that we have a National Stupid National Day so we can celebrate all of the stupid national days on one day and then just have like normal days like, St. David's Day, St. George's Day, May Day and things like that. Mick, that makes absolute sense to me. Thank you for getting in touch this morning.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
I have to say, thank you for your email, John. I love your honesty here. And in your honour, I'm going to have a National Honest John Day. I want to see, hang on, is there a National Honest John Day before I get to your email, John? Hold on. Let me Google this here. National Honest John. I can't spell John. National Honest John Day. No, there isn't. So there you are, John. You can have that named in your honour. But anyway, back on topic. John's email says, morning, Mark. Could we have National Coffee and Toast Day? It didn't really have much thought go into it. It's just that I'm drinking a cup of coffee and I've got a couple of slices of toast here. And I only really said it because I wanted to get a mention because the kids are listening too. There you are, John. You have succeeded. You got a mention. And thank you for your honesty as well, saying that you didn't put much thought into my topic.
Yeah! Mark Denholm.
Today, lockdown 3, day 30, and that's basically, 4 weeks and 2 days of lockdown. And during that time, hairdressers, beauty salons, etc., have been shut. And a lot of people are looking kind of, shall we say, scruffy, in the nicest possible way, scruffy. So my question today on air at atomradio.co.uk, either during lockdown 1, lockdown 2 or lockdown 3, have you attempted any form of home beauty, be that hair cutting, be that like beard trimming, be that hair colouring or anything like that? Have you attempted anything like that yourself? And did it go well or did it go wrong?
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
But I do remember, this is probably about 15 years ago now, I had a cut on the top of my head. Don't remember how I got this cut on the top of my head, but I used to shave my head 3 times a week with a Mach 3 razor and had this cut on the top of my head. No idea where it came from. And I asked my friend Laura if she would shave my head for me. She's like, are you serious? Like, are you going to let me shave your head? Yes, I said, like, you can see where the cut is, I can't see it, therefore you can shave close to it and around it, and that'll be fine. And it all went well. I have to say, it all went well. We're still friends now. There were no bits missed, there were no extra cuts other than the one that I started with on my head. So it all went well. What's your lockdown success or disaster with hair or beauty? On air at atomradio.co.uk.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Do you know what I was just thinking there? Like, I was just telling you about, like, when I had my friend cut my hair. And that is one thing I miss about being a bald man. Like, I don't miss having to go have my hair cut, having to style it, having to wash it and condition it. I don't miss any of that. I have a little bit of hair, which I just either do with the clippers or do with the razor myself. There's no shampoo involved. Shower gel will do the job. Certainly no conditioner involved. But the one thing I do miss is when you go to a hairdresser's, a barber's, whatever, and you have your hair washed. And they do that, like, scalp massage as they wash, don't they, to get the shampoo and the conditioner in. I miss that loads. I genuinely do. But then I don't really feel, even after the pandemic when hairdressers reopen, I don't really feel as a bald man I can just turn up at a hairdresser's, can I? Can I just have a wash, please? Don't need a cut, don't need a style, just a wash.
Mark Denholm.
Today, it's been announced a couple got married in separate rooms over FaceTime after the groom caught COVID. Why not just postpone the wedding? Like your big day, you only get it once. Why not just postpone it? Rather than getting married over FaceTime in separate rooms.
Mark Denholm.
If you are looking for, because next Sunday is of course Valentine's Day, if you're looking for a gift for someone for Valentine's Day, or indeed maybe it's their birthday coming up, do you know you can now get Professor Chris Whitty official merchandise? $9.99 on Amazon plus $3.68 delivery gets you an 11-ounce mug with a picture of Professor Chris Whitty on there, which has been slightly amended. He's now got a cap on that says, "Next slide, please." And he's got a bit of medallion bling on there. Hands, face, space, walk, jam, nitty gritty. You're listening to advice from Professor Chris Whitty. You can also get a Professor Chris Whitty t-shirt with the phrase "Next slide, please" as well. You can get a birthday card. The science is saying that you are 1 year older. Happy birthday, with a picture of Chris Whitty on there as well. You can also buy masks with eyes cut out as well, where you can put them on. There's a mug with "Next slide, please" as well, and neon t-shirts as well. Great stuff if you are looking for something for Valentine's Day and thinking, I don't know what to get. Best order them quick, though.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
Morning then, 7:59. Mark Denholm at breakfast on a Friday on Atom Radio. Playing the music you want to hear, the soundtrack for Slough, asking you today, what hobbies do you think probably shouldn't be boasted about, shouldn't be listed on dating profiles, etc., etc., etc. Michael says, why do people list cooking as a hobby? If you weren't hungry, you wouldn't cook. And if you don't eat, then you'll starve to death. It's surely not a hobby.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Michael, however, says, I do have a hobby, but I would never share it with anyone. It's just my little thing that I do, and I wouldn't share it. And certainly if I was on a dating site, not that I need to be because I have a girlfriend, but if I was on a dating site, it wouldn't be listed among my interests. Nige says, I was sat with a friend a couple of years ago looking through Tinder when he came across a lady. He thought she was really nice, looked at the info, and on her info it had collecting candles. Now, he did swipe yes on her, but she never matched with him, so we didn't really find out much more about it. There. Do you know what? I remember, and this is going back a few years ago now, a friend of mine did used to make candles. Not necessarily collecting them, she used to make them and flog them at car boot sales and craft fairs and stuff like that. And then Kim says, one thing you should never do is lie when you're listing your interests. My friend was on Bumble, came across a guy who listed himself as a professional ice hockey player. Yeah, do you know what? I've got a story about that in a minute, but it's nothing to do with dating. Anyway, she says, my friend came across a guy, listed himself as a professional ice hockey player. Now, my other half is a ice hockey player for the local team, and I asked him, does he know him? And he said, no. So we had a look, and he played on a rec team in another rink that was near to the one that my boyfriend played in. But obviously he lied, because he said that he was a professional ice hockey player, and he wasn't. So don't lie either.
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
Mentioned this earlier, but this is another national day that we are going to have to write off, I think, in 2021. Today is National Shower with a Friend Day. Probably can't get that one done this year. Given the coronavirus restrictions and all that, that would be an absolute no. Also, hobbies that you should not ever admit to. Morning, Paul. A friend of mine was swiping away happily when she came across a guy who was quite a hunky guy by her description, who listed cross-dressing among his hobbies. We were never sure whether he'd perhaps been hacked and that had been listed, or whether it was genuine. atomradio.co.uk. You know what? They're tricky. Those online dating profiles, they are tricky to fill in terms of how much information do you give away and how honest, and is it something that you should perhaps wait until you know someone better. They are tricky, but I'm not sure that I would list cross-dressing, if I was into it, as a hobby on an online dating profile. Nothing wrong with it. If it is what floats your boat, there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm not sure it's an ideal icebreaker, if you get what I'm saying. Do hope you enjoyed the podcast this week. As always, best bits of the show. It is on live every Monday to Friday between 6 and 10. That's UK time if you are checking out this podcast outside the UK. So convert that to wherever you are. 6 until 10, Monday to Friday, on your computer, on your mobile, on your smart speaker. We are on atomradio.co.uk. We're on TuneIn, online radio box and streamer on the mobile, iTunes Radio on mobile and on computer, and indeed on your smart speaker. If you ask it to play Atom Radio via TuneIn, that is what it will do. See you Monday morning at 6 for the podcast. Oh no, for the show. Thank you for checking out the podcast.
Atom Radio. Playing the music you want to hear.
Stay up, pretend NHS stay revives, and go out only for a essential journey.
Mark Denham
The Breakfast Show
on Atom Radio.